So we'll start with the general questions and sort of go into it. What is a great partner you're looking for in the IT channel? You know, this is the partner community that you've done a festival for, Lewis. So for you, what makes a good partner for HPE?
Shouldn't we ask them? We should ask them, shouldn't we? Hey, they're here. The good partners are here. It's a good question, Mark. I think for me...
Later never?
Oh, there's Haf.
Haf is here.
For me, Mark mentioned it earlier, right? It's relevance. Yeah, a partner that's relevant. A partner that listens, understands, customers' needs. Sounds a bit of a cliche, but, it's really good if you've got that. And the other thing I also think that we forget about services that partners have. And whereas a vendor, we, try and push our world to that partner, but our partners have got some cracking IP, got some good services that we need to embrace. And I think what you're going to get from us over the next year or so is us with our new partner program, which will bring that to life. Not a vendor pushing our service proposition, but having joint partner propositions.
And Jody, for you, obviously working with vendors and not specific to HPE, what makes actually a good vendor for you to work with?
I think for us, because we're a newish business that's going for 5 years, we've been an HPE partner for 3, but I think it's in the early days of a new business to try and help and support, whether that's through credit, whether that's distribution, whether that's getting the relevant accreditations, and sort of understanding what it needs to be able to successfully sell HPE. So, yeah.
And Haf, for you, obviously you're working with partners on a daily basis. What are you looking for when you have a relationship with a partner? What makes a good partner for HPE?
I think just the ability to really collaborate in, areas such as sustainability, which we've been talking about a lot today, and kind of trying to drive that messaging together in areas that we've both got individual specialisms in, really. And just pulling together as a team to really kind of align to whatever it is that the customer is looking to achieve.
A big subject at the moment in the IT channel is around hybrid working. And I want to sort of ask the panel, is hybrid working? Because I'm hearing a lot about employees complaining about getting frustrated about hot desking, offices closing, downsizing, they can't get to the offices. There's no room for them to sit with their teams. I'm also hearing on the other side, companies complaining about getting candidates and their employees back into the office, whether that's 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days a week, but employees really pushing back, saying it's affecting their lifestyle and they don't want to come back in the offices. So from the panel, is hybrid working for your business? If we start with you, Lewis, what's the view from HPE? Is it working?
Well, personal for me, right? I lived through the pandemic on my own, right? So I was really looking forward to get back into the office. So, doing endless Zoom calls, not knowing when to stop, that was hard. So I think we create an environment, and it shouldn't be a forced environment that we create with our hubs around our offices around the UK. I've got 2 teams of some early career who actually were wanting to come back in before we would allow them. So we had to obviously allow them to come back in for their mental health. And, I see those guys and girls, they don't have the luxury after they were living with their mums and dads and sharing broadband. So you've got that aspect, but I do get the other side. But I'm quite actually proud, because it's not me that's just driving this, Mark. I think I'm proud of my leadership team, that if we ask people to come in and collaborate, they're in with them. So they're showing up. I'm showing up. I spend 4 days in if I'm not a partner. And I think for the channel, as a partner business manager, you are always out seeing your partners or customers. So they're used to always being out. And that really affected them staying at home. I'm not seeing too much of the other side that you mentioned. But what I will say, there's a lot of customers, and I went into London yesterday. There's a lot of customers that are not coming back. So for our end user colleagues, it's pretty difficult for those guys and girls to actually go and meet their customers. So I'm quite proud of what we've achieved with what in the UK, and proud of the team, and most of them are in here today as well.
What about those people that don't want to come back? So you mentioned there about lots of your team are coming back to the offices. Are you getting any resistance from early careers saying, do you know what, this is not working for my lifestyle now. I actually don't really want to come back in. How are you dealing with that?
I'll be honest, I'm not seeing that, right? And I think it's creating the right environment. You can't force people to come back. We have an edge policy, and we have a policy where, it's an open door policy for us as a business, right? And I think we've got to take it really serious with, listening to those colleagues and understanding why. If they're not comfortable coming back in, is it a lifestyle thing, or is it, it's a personal thing that we need to just be really, conscious of.
Okay, great. And Haf, how are you seeing it? What's happening? Because you're based in Manchester, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. And I think I'm very lucky in that I kind of had 3 months in the office before we went into lockdown. We kind of lived through lockdown and had that whole period of time, and now we're back in the hub, and we've kind of created this little community. And I think people do really enjoy coming into the office. We've got a lot of kind of different things happening, whether it's around mental health and well-being, or just going to gym sessions together, volunteering together. These are the kind of things that people love to be in for, and just having that space to collaborate. It's never the same on a Zoom call. I mean, just look at today. It's been really good just being everyone in the same place, and that's what's the most important thing about going into that sort of Manchester hub, which we've all created together over the past few years.
It's a great buzz. You should go up there.
Now, Jodie, I've been into your office. Great culture, great office environment. I think you've got an office-based culture in your business, but I wondered what you were doing about it. Are you having people resisting coming to the office? Is it anything you're seeing there around hybrid working?
No, not really. I think we were the ones that, as you know, we purchased an office during the pandemic when no one was ever going to go back to work to an office again, right? So we did that. And I think other than the first lockdown, everyone was in the office. So a lot of people, as you mentioned earlier, young people, okay, so sharing broadband, internet, challenges around being able to work from home, and eating, living, sleeping in the same room isn't healthy for anyone. So what we've done is it's all customer-facing roles are mostly in the office 5 days a week. And then a lot of back office and admin, there's a bit more flexibility. We've had people that have had babies during the pandemic, etc. So now that's been incorporated with more of a hybrid working environment. So I think that's how we've tackled it. And as I said, as you mentioned, creating a good culture, and you mentioned it as well, places where people want to come to work makes a big difference. So